Hi, and welcome to Dr. Mix. Yes, it's another day where I answer your questions. So thank you so much. I'm really blown away by the fact that you are interested in what I have to say and that you even have time to ask me questions. Yes. Oh, by the way, the easiest way to do that is just leave comments in this very video, and those will be my questions for the next video. Yeah? That sounds like a good deal, right? Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Sultan? I'm sorry. Please turn off autofocus on the camera. It ruins the whole illusion. Otherwise, I know I have received so many messages. Look, I have a new room. I needed a new camera, right? It's a great camera. I love it. It's the Sony A7C, and it works great, except the autofocus is so sophisticated that it's too sophisticated for me. So I had to use some times in order to make it work. I think I got it pretty good now. I think I got it right. I apologize. I know there were a lot of videos that were not in focus. I apologize for it. Next! Zachary Bell asks, I have a serious question. How do I figure out what to make my first analog synthesizer? I need to start saving up now and I don't know where to begin. Well, number one, I have made a video about this, Zachary. Sorry. I actually explored that, and that video, which is this video here, I'm gonna also link it in the description, is like the guide to the synthesizer, because I had a chance to own different synthesizers. In that video, I just illustrated of the ones that I have, the ones that I like, and the ones I think are suitable for a beginner, an intermediate, and somebody who doesn't have a problem with money, basically. It depends on what you want to really do, because if you want to just learn, then you can take any easy, simple instrument like a Yamaha CS, you know, the Reface series, or you can go for the small Arturias, and those are analog. I'm saying this because presumably you want to start with analog, because that's the fundamental type of synthesis that you want to learn. But again, I go deeper into the subject in the video. I mean, if you want something polyphonic and that's, you know, advanced, then man, there are so many choices. If you are pursuing your dream synthesizer, choose one. Is that what, the Minimoog? If it's that one, start saving up. I had to wait a long time before I could actually have a real Minimoog, and I've been like a professional for a long time. So I guess it's just how committed you are to it. Next, Dr. Mix Documentary When asks Samikins. I do have an answer for that, because turns out I have a lot of old tapes that I found. You know, I also had to find some players for them, because I had some Hi8, some mini DV, some VHS. So now I'm basically digitizing all of my past, and I'm trying to put together a story of, you know, where I come from musically, and, you know, a little bit of the story. Because look, I'm not one who looks back into the past and, you know, lives off former glories. I don't function like that, but I do understand questions like this, because Claudio, we see you in this like super huge studio and we don't even know why you should have one and what have you done to get to that point. So I think it's an interesting story. I'll give you one confession as well, because my life story revolves around Italy, America, Italy, and the United Kingdom. I have already started working on some traveling vlogs, which it was my project, but COVID hit, so I only completed part of it. I'm putting together a life story. I hope I can do that right so that I don't bore any one of you. I just want to make sure I do it well. I am trying to understand your t-shirt. What do the colors represent in the history? Is it a timeline? Please help. Of course, with pleasure, my dear. Hold on there, 1 second. There you go. Here are the colors. 1978. These are the colors of the Roland CR78. This one. Yeah. 1980. These are the colors of the 808. Don't believe me? Don't believe me, just watch. Oh, I don't have it here. This is the 808. Now this one, 1980, is also the release of the Roland CR8000. See the colors? And finally, 1983 is the 909. there you go. Yeah, you can find this link in the description. You can get it if you want to. It also says, Dr. Mix right here. Dr. Mix! We need some music entertainment now. Pretty good, right? Here I got my sounds. Check out. My sounds. It's good, isn't it? Next question. Commodore 64. Alright, it's alive. It's well. I've got this from Sam. Look, Mom, no computer. The truth is that I was supposed to do a collab video with somebody who is good at making synthesizer cases, but COVID has stopped that project. So I considered building one for myself, prototype in the meantime. I am still very excited about it, but you know, the studio project had to be done. So, you know, something was left behind, but I'm still completely in love with this project and I'm gonna do it really, really soon. Sorry. Next! Artem asks, why are you buying hardware synths? You can do all this with any DAW plus VST. Yes and no. No and yes. Next question. No, the whole answer is there is a reason why this hardware synthesizers, especially the nice vintage ones, are very sought after and therefore very expensive because they have value. When you have a real synthesizer, you've got so much more than its very sound. I mean, you can recreate its sound. If you sample every note of the synthesizer and you put it in a sampler and you play chords like that, you can probably fool me. You can fool anyone because that would be a recording of the original thing. So if that's all you're after, then you probably are okay with just a plugin. Gotta be a good one. You know, not all plugins are the same. There is an emotional and inspirational, tactile instrument relationship that you establish with a piece like this. For example, this goes out of tune. But all you need to do is wait and you'll be fine in no time. There you go. I think I just answered you, didn't I? Next, Walman asks, and this is one of the aficionados. You can always find Walman, Greek guy if I'm not mistaken, on the premieres of my videos because he's one of the ones to show up before everyone else and we get to chat a little bit. So I'm happy to take your question. Off topic, what do you guys think about Daft Punk breaking up? To be honest, I have not followed it too much. based on my previous experience with the stuff, unless there was like, disagreement kind of breakdown, which doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe they just want some time off each other because let's face it, two producers working on the same projects over and over again for decades and decades, it can get pretty tiring. My suspicion is that unless they have something that they disagree on, we're gonna see a comeback at some point. I mean, I know a lot of artists, I've worked for a lot of them, and they say, okay, this is my last tour, and they've done it, many times, and many times they started touring again and making a new album. I probably think that they feel it if they have announced it, but I never say never. Artists like attention, and Daft Punk got a lot of attention when together. Next! Peter Ronaldo asks, you're amazing and you showed us how deep your musical vocabulary is. Thank you. Really, but thank you. Do you chart this or play everything from memory? So I play mostly by memory. When you see me, just take up anything and, like... Ah. So yeah, if I have to play some serious music or, I have like band engagement and session that I need to play live and I want to make sure that I know what I'm playing, yes, I will chart it out. Just to have visual representation, like coordinates. I know how to read music. I'm not a great sight reader. Actually, I'm a very bad sight reader, but I write music quite fast and quite effectively. Charting music is something I'm really comfortable with. The thing that I've practiced the most with music is pulling down concerts in order to play them next week. That's what I got a lot of practice in. And that's why I find it natural to copy songs, pull down the parts, understanding the intricacies of it, because I've done it for a job for a long time. So I got a lot of mileage doing that. Pat Breakup says, video about orchestration. Si, per favore. Orchestration. Orchestration means how you arrange melodies and orchestral parts given a certain melody and a certain harmony. If you have strings and you have C major, you don't necessarily want to play just C major with that, or one of the inversions. Possibly you want to say a lot more than that. If I am doing something filmic and, I can go like this. So right now I've chosen a pedal of C and I'm going around, starting with the root, 5th and 7th, like that. So this is an orchestration choice. The same chord and the same violin. They can express mystery, or they can express just joy. So basically, it's the art of deciding how you play a certain section of the orchestra. I love it. I'm just gonna give you a couple of tricks. With strings especially, if you establish a pad, then it almost doesn't matter what you play on the right hand. If I go like this, or just like that. Or it doesn't almost matter, because now your ear is locked into that pedal, and on the right side of the section, if I have, say, the double bass here and then maybe the cellos, and here I can have viola and violin, and I use them as divisi, so they go like shapes of 4, like this. just chromaticisms. Also, I'm gonna give you like an example of what orchestration can mean for horns. For example, the idea of playing all the notes of the chord within one octave. This is called block voicing, and it's one of the things that I use the most. Then you have, from block voicing, got root, third, fifth, sixth, or 13th, and then the octave again. So you got that, but you can drop A, like the second from the top, and you put down here, and then you can drop the fourth voice from the top, and you put it here. This is like a legal way. This is a way to maintain that sound, but extend the span of that range of the horns. Or, for example, the trick of whatever diatonic note I use, right? I just use all the notes in the chord, but then if I have this note, then I just put a diminished chord to it. Right? So those are a couple of tricks that I can show you quickly. So videos about orchestration? Yeah, I think I will do some. You know, I have to get my facts straight before I even illustrate them to you. As you can tell, I'm not very eloquent. You know, it's like there are people who know how to teach harmony, and all my respect goes to them and orchestration, because it takes a lot of determination and patience to get the way you say things right. And yeah, I'm gonna take the last question for today. Do you have a dedicated ground line for the studio Ask project? Well, firstly, I think that one of the best ideas is that you go check out Building My Dream Music Studio series. I think it's episode maybe 4, 5, 6, where I talk about electricity. That's when Clive Cavan, the person who takes care of my studio, of my gear, explained to me the ground thing. So the advice from the professionals were, just make sure that, number one, all of the studs and metal parts within your walls are grounded. Number two, make sure that you run the grounding all across the sockets. So everything must be grounded. Things like shower are grounded, that you have clean power and that you don't draw power from the air conditioning on the same circuit, because that can create noises. No, I mean, I don't think that there is anything much more to know about it. Basically, what you want to avoid is ground loops. So ideally, you would have just one ground point for each machine, which is the internal wire that goes to the socket, and that should be it. There shouldn't be any cross grounding from, say, chassis to chassis. That's what I know about it. By the way, my studio has great grounding, and I'm very happy about that. And for that, I am going to play a celebration song. What can that be? I know what it is. I'm gonna play a silly song again, just because it is a great exercise. It's Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf. Check out what happens in the B section, right? Sorry. Watch out! Mix for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. Keep on asking these questions down in the comments here below. I'm sure you're subscribed, but if you're not, It's time to subscribe to Dr. Mix. It's time to subscribe to Dr. Mix. Yes, yes, it's time to subscribe to Dr. Mix. Dr. Mix. And that's your next video.